Hey, how's it going? My name is Daniel Calderon and welcome back to Corner Talks. The end of the pandemic is near. We're starting to see a lot of people, getting excited because vaccinations are rising and restrictions are lowering. And from where I live, in Ontario, Canada, we are very excited because we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I don't know where you are in the world, I don't know where you're watching this from, but I'm sure from what I see on the news that there is hope. There is hope that things are gonna get better much soon. And in light of this, we can't help but think, what are we gonna look forward to? What are the things that is going to get us driven, get us motivated, but for the most part, make us feel like there's a sense of normalcy again. And for myself, there's a lot of things that I kind of reflect on and I'm kind of visualizing for the future of what I wanna kind of anticipate and pursue when things do get back to normal or whatever normal is. But nevertheless, I believe that it'll be much better than what we experienced in 2020 and for the earlier part of 2021. So having said that, these are some things I'm looking forward to as the pandemic comes to an end. I've often said this before in my previous videos that I enjoy to walk. I enjoy to get outside, be one with nature, and it was very therapeutic for me. It actually helped me create a healthy mindset during this pandemic. We were so closed in, we were so boxed in, cooped up, and we really couldn't breathe properly. We couldn't get out and see what was beyond our four walls. And if we weren't careful, there was a lot of us, friends and family that I know of, that just kind of, sheltered themselves. They really resisted the idea of going out. A, because they were unmotivated, and B, because they had a genuine concern about safety and their own health. But even though I walked outside and I enjoyed nature during the pandemic and during the lockdowns, I still never felt completely secure. I still never felt completely safe. There was always this thing in the back of my head saying to myself, what if this person has COVID, or what if this person is not vaccinated? It's in the back of everyone's mind, right? And you kind of would avoid people, you would walk around them, you would have to walk on the side of the curb, they would avoid me. I still remember a mother with a stroller and a baby, and they literally just crossed the street from a mile away. They just saw me a mile away. You could tell that they were not intending to cross the street. But you can't blame them because everyone is looking out for themselves, looking out for their families' health, and it's so important, so critical. And the reason why I say walking around freely is now that the pandemic hopefully will come to an end, we won't have that scare, we won't have that doubt in ourselves when we're walking around. We can maybe breathe easier, it'll feel lighter on our backs. I'm not saying it'll be completely the same because the pandemic has changed the world, the way we view things, right? It's completely changed how we perceive a lot of how things can happen, right? There's so many things that arose during the pandemic that we kind of learn to overcome or learn to adapt to. But at the same time, it's so important that we realize once the pandemic comes to an end or nears the end, we can just breathe a little bit easier and walk around. I'm not saying completely avoid the safety precautions put in place, but at the same time, it won't be as bad as back in 2020. And like I said, with regards to walking, get outside there, get that vitamin D. It's so important, it's required, to fight against the battle with COVID. It helps your immune system. Get out in the sunlight, get out, get active, and get that heart rate going because it's so important that you take care of not only your mental health, but your physical health as well. And you enjoy the times that you have to just, take that opportunity and be one with nature. I remember when Chris Rock was performing his monologue on Saturday Night Live, and he said something that was so interesting where, remember when we used to make plans? And it hit me really hard because I never really thought of it that way. Obviously, I've never made a plan since the beginning of the pandemic because everything is changing all the time and things are so uncertain. But you don't realize, how much one event can alter your life. Again, alter how you perceive the world. And many of us, many people that I know closely, never made plans, maybe even more than a week in advance, because we didn't know what was to come. Where I live in Ontario, 3 lockdowns occurred, 3. More so than a lot of places that I've heard around the world. And, productions and gatherings, meetups, and, just simple hangouts were all canceled because the uncertainty, because of things, either restrictions that were put in place. People, again, were concerned about their safety and their health. And, people also didn't want to get fined, right? If you're with a large gathering, a large crowd, especially the production, like I said, I was part of. So it brings me much relief to know that once things get better, as the pandemic draws closer to an end, there's going to be times when we can plan things, plan things in a month time or in a week time, or say, Saturday night, hey, how about we grab a drink? It's going to be a little bit more free spirited that way. We can just, lean back and relax and enjoy as life kind of comes to us, instead of always wondering, what's tomorrow going to bring us, instead of always having that fear of the unknown. That's something that, again, I've dreaded, I've experienced. But at the same time, it gives me much hope. It puts a smile on my face to know that, I can schedule those things in advance, and not so much hanging out and meeting up with people, but again, with business, starting a business, that was very hard. And it's even harder when you're in a pandemic because you don't know what's next, or you don't know where your next client is coming from. But now you can kind of see things a little bit more clear. And if you do set up an appointment with them or a production, it'll be, without that fear of it being shut down or canceled because either restrictions put in place, a lockdown, or either parties are fearful of each other's safety and health. So I think it's really important that we get back to our schedules, we get back to planning things ahead, and getting back to the people we care about and the people that we want to collaborate with. I feel like this is a favorite for many people because traveling to places is a lot of fun. It's all I see as someone in my 20s. Everybody wants to experience the world all before the age of 30. And with the pandemic, it just put a huge damper on a lot of things, a huge roadblock. We were not able to just book a flight and fly out of here. Some people I know did, and all the power to them. But for the most of us that were skeptical, that maybe live with families, and again, are concerned about the repercussions of going out during a time when the virus was looming, and especially because we were unvaccinated, it wasn't the best time to be traveling. So now that things seem to be moving closer to an end, I'm starting to really get excited about the idea of traveling again, right? Traveling, obviously it requires money, you gotta save up, but even just the little places, taking a drive with the family or the friends, going to a beach, or going up north, cottage country kind of thing. It doesn't always have to be flying abroad with a plane, but even if that is the case for you, go see the world when things get much better and you're comfortable and you feel you're fully vaccinated, right? You feel you're confident enough to be out there in the real world, because at the end of the day, these are all experiences, and there's so many places that I want to travel to. There's so many places that I want to see for myself, all around the world, Tokyo, Egypt, places in Europe, Berlin, London. And now that there's light at the end of the tunnel with this pandemic, a lot of people are becoming more hopeful, I know for myself. And we, think of some places, some destinations you love to see in your lifetime. Because as proven with this pandemic, you never know what's to come. You never know if there's another pandemic on the horizon. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or sound morbid, but it's the reality. And you should take advantage of any opportunity if you can afford it. If you have the time, you have the luxury, go ahead and visit those places. See it for yourself with your own eyes, experience them. And I promise you, you will have no regrets, because I did that for myself when I wanted to go to California, and I did a 2-week trip. I visited 3 cities, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. And it was probably one of the best experiences of my life. It was a solo trip, I did it myself, and I was proud of it because it's something I always thought to myself I was going to do, but I never thought I could do it. And when I just stuck to my guns, I went for it. It worked out for the best, and it's one of my greatest memories. And it created a lot of footage, a lot of content for me that I was able to share with you guys as a filmmaker, and it inspired me to keep pursuing the dream. So regarding destinations, like I said, keep going after it. Pick one that you really enjoy. Anywhere. It doesn't even have to be California. It could be something up the street. But start traveling, start getting out of the house, and explore the world. And finally, this is something that is probably on everybody's mind, and the fact is, you can see family and friends again. This pandemic has been so harsh on a lot of us. It has prevented us from seeing the people that are close to us, people that we love, and in very extreme situations, you know, with you have your grandparents at a senior care home. I've seen all kinds of stories online. They were seeing each other through a plexiglass or through a window or even FaceTime. And it's a horrible human experience. We're designed, we're conditioned to have physical contact, to have intimacy. And no human being should live like that. So it's so important that, you know, as we, you know, slowly come back to some kind of normalcy and we get vaccinated, we can see our family and friends. You know, we can give them a hug. We can see people that we haven't seen in a while. And it's important to, you know, rekindle these friendships, to catch up, to see what everybody's up to, and you know, create a stronger bond. So I think it's such a great thing to look forward to. I think a lot of people, out of all the things I've listed, are looking forward to it most, especially those that haven't seen their family and friends for a very, very long time and have been isolated. It's so important that we have that social contact, and it's so important that we get back to as normal as can be through the interaction of family and friends. Thanks again for joining me on another Corner Talks. I really hope you enjoyed my discussion on things I'm looking forward to as the pandemic comes to an end. These are a lot of fun things that you can look forward to as well, and I'm sure a lot of you have even more of a list or already have the things I've mentioned written down, but these are things to really kind of reflect on and remember that it's what motivates us, it's what inspires us as humans, the fact that we're able to travel abroad, the fact that we're able to see our family and friends. If you agree or disagree to what I had to say in this video, please leave your comments down below. I always love to see your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, and we'll talk soon.